Okay, John Kelly back again, and we're in our next tutorial step, and it's all about blogging and why we blog is the very first topic we're going to talk about, and then we're going to go to the next one and start getting into the mechanics of it and how to. Okay, so this particular video here is the purpose of blogging, what it is and why you do it and what it does for your website. And then in the next video we'll talk about how to actually do a blog post and the whole mechanics and technical stuff behind that. So that's what you need, just go right to the next video. But in this particular one, let's talk about blogging. Why do you need it and what is it? Well, WordPress by itself is a blogging platform. Okay, that's how it was developed back in 2003. It's an easy way to add content, and simply the word blog stands for an acronym for the term weblog, W-E-B-L-O-G. Okay, so the term turned into blog. All right, so a weblog is basically nothing more than a journal, and WordPress allows you to easily go in and publish your own content. You can simply sit in there and write to your heart's content. Okay, and so when we do so, there's a reason why WordPress became so popular. A couple of reasons, several reasons, but one of the biggest ones was not only is it easy to use, but it also tells search engines every single time that you publish a blog post, it uses a service called Pingomatic.com. Pingomatic.com is a service that gets an automated signal, or called a ping, from a syndicated signal from your blog post that, hey, guess what? They just made new content, and I'm going to let search engines know that you did that. Okay? Now, why is that so significant? Well, you have to understand search engines a little bit. Search engines don't come to your site every single day. Now, remember what a search engine is. That's like Google or Bing or Yahoo. So, for example, if I open up another browser tab here, okay, I have Google. Okay, so if I wanted to Google something, let's say website designers Rochester, New York. Okay, and you can see I come up here. Somehow I got bumped down number 2, but we go back and forth all the time. But website designers Rochester, New York. Notice that the words website designer Rochester, New York are bold, and you can see that throughout the page because they are keywords that are used in a search engine. Now you already know that, okay? But what's important about that? Well, the fact is this. When I click on this little link right here, it says cached next to my website. Here's what it'll do. It'll show me all the keywords and highlight it, but more importantly up here it says this is Google Cache, in other words a history memory of a snapshot of the page as it appeared on September 8, 2011, which was a few days back. Currently this is September the 14th. So the last time they came and visit me was on the 8th. Okay. Google generally comes and visits me about every 3 to 4 days. That's not always the case for most websites, especially if your website really doesn't do a whole lot and it doesn't get changes. Google may come and visit your website maybe once a month if you're lucky. That's not good. Remember what a search engine is used for. You're using it to find things in a place or services in a place. That's what you do. There are two things you search for: a place or a thing, a service, a product or service, and what place is it located in. So those are the things that are important. Now, so what we're doing with our website, and the basic simple premise of search engine optimization is make sure that your content of your website contains the keywords in the right appropriate places to allow search engines to serve up your information when somebody does that search. As you can see, mine did. Okay, so when I typed in website designers Rochester, New York, and I hit search, Google's went into its vast library of billions and billions of websites and content, and it took all the stuff that was on my web page here, and it says, hey, this makes sense, let me serve this up to this user of Google. And it brought up everything in here that was related to website designer Rochester, New York. So that's the whole idea behind the search. Okay, so remember what a search engine does. It goes out every single day 24/7 and it crawls the entire website, or excuse me, the entire internet. Call it web crawlers. Okay, the name for the commonly known is a search engine spider because it crawls the web. Get it? Okay. But anyway, it crawls the web and it finds websites and it crawls through your website content to pull words out and bring them back, and think of it as a bee going out and getting pollen and bringing it back to the nest. Okay, so what's happening is it's taking all those words, it's putting them in its database, and it's making sense of what's on your website, and then it knows what to do in the future if somebody searches for what you have. Okay, so what does all this have to do with blogging? Well, let's go back to our website again. What it has to do with blogging is this. If I just leave this website just the way it is for months on end, you're going to become one of those people that Google visits maybe once a month if you're lucky. That also means that when somebody does a search, okay, your content's not really that fresh. And you know what? Somebody might beat you. In fact, you may not even appear on the first page. You might be on like page 2 or 3, if even. All right. If you're not on the first top 5 or 6 or 7 of Google here, um, you're pretty much, your website really isn't doing any good, and it's not going to help you. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to give search engines something to sink their teeth into. We want to give them content regularly. So what we want them to do is come back and visit you often. So to do that, we add new content to our website, usually at least every other week, maybe once a month, but I would try to do it even more so than that. So maybe like once a week or once every other week, for the average person. And I'm going to show you some tricks and tips about doing that too, where you can make a whole bunch of blog posts at one time and schedule them so they all go out on a set schedule. We can do that. All right, but anyway, understand that's the idea. The reason why you have a blog is to create new content on your website with keywords for Google to come and take and put back in its library. So if you have a new service or a new product or something you're trying to promote, then talk about it. So what do you talk about it? You don't say, hey, come here and buy my stuff. No, that's not a blog post. I couldn't care less about what you have to offer. Don't take that personally. Here's the thing. If I'm going to go read something, I don't want to read advertisements. What I want to read is, how can you help me? What information can you, or do you have to share with me that I can learn from? Or what entertainment do you have? Are you entertaining? Will I be entertained if I read your stuff? Okay, so that's the thing. You have to make sure that when you're in here writing, to make sure that you're writing to like a person that you know near and close to your heart. Maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your sister, maybe your brother or your parents or whatever it may be. Just when you write, keep that person in mind as you're writing, as if you're teaching somebody or as if you're the expert or the professional with what you do in that particular field. You have to give in order to get. So make sure that your content is respectful. Make sure that it's unique. Do not go to somebody else's website and copy and paste it and put it on your website. Why? Because you can go to a place that's called copyscape.com, and on copyscape.com, a plagiarism checker, I can go and put my website in here, and God, I'm hoping this isn't going to happen to me. So I'm a little scared here. HTML, that's the name of my home page. And this is going to do a quick check of everything out there and let me know if somebody is ripping me off and taking my content. And the reality is, no, it looks like I'm doing just fine. Okay, so I don't have to worry about somebody taking my homepage content. Okay, but that's what will happen if somebody else does it to you. Next thing you know, you have a letter from their attorney, okay, to take your content down. So don't do that. Don't copy somebody else's stuff. Make your stuff original. It's the only way it works in the search engines anyway, is to make unique content. Okay, so that's the secret behind blogging, and in the very next video we're going to get back into actually creating a blog post showing you the nuts and bolts. So see you then.